Hi, I'm Louise Malden, fishery biologist with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. I'm the representative for the Fish and Wildlife Service's National Fish Passage Program for Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin within the upper Mississippi River Basin. I wanted to spend a few minutes to talk about the effects of dams on fish and mussels and the importance and benefits of providing fish passage at the Pinicon Ridge Park Dam in Central City. Construction of dams has been a major contributor to mussel population declines across the U.S. Dams have changed natural flow patterns, disrupted sediment transport, causing increased deposition of sediment upstream of dams, where only a few silt-tolerant mussel species can thrive, and downstream of dams in the tail race, where the substrate is sediment deprived. Mussels are primarily sedentary animals and sensitive to their surrounding environment. Substrate, depth, and current are important characteristics of mussel habitat. Mussels really need relatively stable substrate under both low and high flow conditions. At low flows, mussels need some flow or turbulence to provide gas exchange, bring food in, carry away waste, and provide oxygen. During high flows, current velocities need to be low enough so that the substrate won't be mobilized. But if currents are high enough, they can move sand and silt, dislodging mussels and sweeping them downstream. Mussels may also become buried from high flow events in which silt, sand, and gravel are mobilized for some distance and then deposited, smothering the mussels. Dams also impede fish that need to migrate upstream to spawn in the spring, like channel catfish, walleye, red horse, smallmouth bass, and others. Dams impede fish in finding optimum areas for foraging, and they also affect downstream movements of fish during the fall when fish are trying to find suitable overwintering habitat. Disruption in seasonal movements by fish, in turn, hinders mussels from being dispersed upstream and downstream, affecting how the endangered Higgins eye and other mussels feed, live, and reproduce. The Service's La Crosse office is interested in working with the Linn County Conservation Board, Iowa Department of Natural Resources, the project consultant, and the local community to improve fish passage at the Pinicon Ridge Park Dam. Providing fish passage at the dam will improve river connectivity from the dam at Anamosa upriver to the dam at Independence, reconnecting about 78 miles of mainstem river. Providing fish passage will improve seasonal upstream and downstream movements to mainstem and tributary habitats for walleye, again, smallmouth bass, suckers, darters, and other species. And it will increase and improve the timing of fish host mussel encounters, as well as fish carrying larval mussels upstream. With increased fish movements, we expect fish passage will increase the abundance and dispersal of the endangered Higgins eye mussel and other uncommon mussel species of concern in this river reach, and potentially expand upstream of the dam. More broadly, we expect fish passage at the dam will increase the abundance, distribution, and diversity of the general mussel community in the WAPSIPINICON River from Anamosa to Independence. Mussels can be found in a variety of habitats where stream or river currents range from slow to fast, with a substrate preference that widely varies from cobble, gravel, sand, and silt, or a mixture of substrates. Approximately 26 species of mussels have been documented throughout the Wassapinican River. Last summer, the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, along with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Minnesota DNR, local partners, and volunteers, conducted a mussel survey in the Central City and Anamosa River Reach, and 15 species were collected during that survey. A few of the more common species found in the river reach are pictured here. On the top right, the black sand shell is a thick-shelled, heavy mussel that can be found over gravel or firm sand substrates and can tolerate areas of moderate current. Walleye and smallmouth bass are the known fish hosts for this mussel species. Down on the bottom left, the plain pocketbook is fairly common in this reach of the river. It can be collected in various substrates of cobble with swift current, gravel having moderate current, and it can be found in areas where there's been a mix of sand silt or silt where the current is fairly low. The plain pocketbook has several different species that have been, several different species that serve as fish hosts, including smallmouth bass, walleye, and yellow perch. I also wanted to point out the species in the middle, the pimpleback. One of the distinguishing characteristics of the pimpleback are the bumps that you see, or pustules, that are scattered along portions of the shell. And these two individuals are actually juveniles. They are kind of a yellowish green in color or yellowish brown, and as they grow and age, the shell actually turns a chestnut color or brown, dark brown color. And so the pimpleback can be found in a variety of substrates like gravel, sand, and silt. And the host for this mussel is from the catfish family. So channel catfish is the primary fish host, but black bullhead and brown bullhead may also serve as a host if they are present in the river reach. Here are a few of the more uncommon species collected on the WAPSIPINICON River downstream of Central City. On the top right, the federally endangered Higgins eye mussel. The Fish and Wildlife Service, Iowa DNR, and U.S. Army Corps of Engineers are working together to reestablish a population in the WAPSIPINICON River as part of an ongoing recovery effort, including a larger effort that's occurring on the Mississippi River. The Genoa National Fish Hatchery is stocking walleye, smallmouth bass, and largemouth bass carrying larval Higgins eye mussels attached to their gills in this reach of river, and so they've been stocking these fish on and off since 2001. Higgins eye are a thick-shelled mussel that inhabit large rivers like the Mississippi River and some of its tributaries like the Wisconsin, the Illinois River, the Iowa River, as well as the WAPSIPINICON River. And these are all part of the, or included in the historical range of the Higgins eye. And the Higgins eye prefers deeper water and sand silt substrate, as well as moderate current. A few of the other common mussel species collected in this reach of river includes the paper pond shell down on the left, and the ellipse. With the ellipse is actually listed as a state endangered species. The ellipse prefers stable gravel or mix of sand and gravel in areas of swift current. And this is a neat mussel. The darters are the host fish for this particular mussel because they occupy similar habitat. They like that gravel substrate with swift current, and so they occupy overlapping habitat with this particular mussel. Here are a number of other mussels, species that have been found on the WAPSIPINICON River but are considered uncommon or rare. The species that have an asterisk next to the name, these are state listed as threatened or endangered. And if you're interested in learning more about Iowa mussels, there is a booklet called Mussels of Iowa, and there's a link there at the bottom. And if you're interested in learning more about mussels in general, there are several links here that you are welcome to check out. Thank you for your time.